much, Valencia. Before my closing remarks, though, I think there was a question asking the expectations for persons returning home. What I can tell you is that all the information that you need to learn about what you would be required to do when returning home is on the covid19.gov.kn website. That is our COVID-19 website, and it has all the information that you required to be able to return home. If you look on the right side of the page, once you log into the home screen, you would see the COVID-19 repatriation form, and once you click on that form, it gives you a listing of all of the information that you would need to provide, bearing in mind that once you do return, your quarantine for 14 days is still expected. The test at the end of the quarantine, once you are negative, you are free to roam, but if not, then you will have to stay within the quarantine and go into isolation rather if you are positive. And so these are things you have to bear in mind. It is a new norm. And for my closing remarks, though, I would like to discuss more, because there were quite a number of persons who would have spoken to the events that we are having. And I think it's important, as the Minister of Health and also the Minister with responsibility for a new ministry that will be looking at entertainment, to address this in some parts. So it's a new norm, and we are expected to make changes in every aspect of our lifestyle and the way we live. We've been asking the churches, the schools, business places to change the way in which they do business and how they operate. And it is no different for events as well. And so promoters need to start thinking about new and creative ways in which they can be able to provide the same level of entertainment to their participants, but within a safe environment, preparing them for what can be the second wave of COVID-19. We're not asking you to restrict yourself. We're not asking you to end your livelihood, because I've had some of them who have indicated to me that this is my livelihood. But what we're asking you to do is to think about how you can offer your same entertainment within the confines of COVID-19. Even within the independence celebration, we had to consider new ways to present our independence celebrations, bearing in mind the COVID-19 protocols. It means that you'll have to limit the number of persons you have at an event at any given time, so that you can practice some form of social distances. Whether or not you have creative and innovative ways in which you can provide some type of entertainment, be it that you have some special sitting for persons who are in families, that you have your own space, or even if you create some type of innovative way for persons to be able to enjoy themselves, but do it safely. And all we are asking you to do, in order to be able to protect your livelihood, as you put it, to ensure that whenever you do have your events, all of the protocols are adhered to. It is for your safety and for the safety of the people who will be coming and patronizing your business. And so you have to think about that as well as you continue to have these events. It's going to be very difficult, especially from a Ministry of Health point of view, to continue to allow the events to happen if our promoters are not ensuring that they practice the proper protocols. I could remember seeing on social media one promoter in particular asking and pleading with other promoters to think about that. Think about the fact that you are protecting what you have as your livelihood and ensuring that everything is done based on the protocols. It's about protecting St. Kitts and Nevis. We are expecting a second wave. Our borders will soon reopen. We have to retrain persons on this new way in which we're expecting you to live. Wearing your mask, hand sanitization, making sure that you practice social distancing. All these non-pharmaceutical measures that have protected us in the first wave are going to ensure that we have safe and we would have no deaths within the second wave as well. And so we're just pleading to our event promoters, please, if you're going to have your events, you would have laid out to the task force, this is how you expect the event to be able to meet the requirements of the protocols, and we expect that you would adhere to those protocols. Again, it is for your protection and the protection of the country as a whole. It is preparing you for what is to come. Yes, we may not have the numbers that we see in other countries, and we want to keep it that way. And the way in which we are going to be able to keep it that way is if everyone adheres to the protocol, just like how the churches, just like how the schools, just like how the business places had to change the way that they do business and the way they do what they do. The same is expected of persons who have these events. So that is what I would like to use my opportunity for my closing remarks to be able to address, because it is something that's important. We see the pictures all the time, and so many persons get hesitant and scared when they see these pictures, because they're thinking what would happen in the future. And that is what we want you to think about too. It's not about the now, it's about the future, and ensuring that we have a safe reopening of our borders, and that we protect everyone within St. Kitts and Nevis, and we can say the second time around that indeed we were able to beat the curve for COVID-19. So thanks again to the Prime Minister for having me here, and thanks to everyone who tuned in and listened, and for the questions posed this evening. And I pray that everyone will continue to follow all protocols and guidelines. Remember, wear your mask. It's for your safety. Wash your hands. It's for your safety and the safety of your family and community. Practice social distancing. These are the things that will ensure that in the second wave of COVID, we can come out just as strong as we did with the first wave. Thank you and good night.